Welcome to In Her Voice. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am passionate about helping women live authentically by listening to their inner voice. Get ready to be inspired by women of all walks of life that have set aside their should-bes and not good enoughs and are standing in their true voice, the voice of wisdom that each and every one of us has inside. Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Covert, and you are listening to episode 47 of In Her Voice. I am so excited that you decided to join me today because I have a feeling that because you're here, because you chose to hit play today on this episode, it's going to be exactly what you need. So today on the podcast, I am going to be talking about vision. And let me give you a little background of this. The reason that I wanted to talk about vision with you guys today is because it just gets me so fired up. I had an amazing conversation in episode 46 with Holly Zaring of Circles of Change. You guys have to go listen to it. And I was editing it the other day, and as I was editing it, I said something in the podcast. And what I said to Holly was, I feel your passion and I feel your vision, and it gets me excited. And when I heard myself say that, I was like, yeah, I'm excited for my own vision, and I get excited when other people step into that and they begin to know what it is that their heart is asking them to do. And if you're sitting here and you're thinking, Kelly, I don't really know what you mean, that's okay, because I'm going to talk about that. And then if you're one of these people who are like, yeah, I get it, I have a vision, what's next? We're going to talk about that too. So this is for everyone. And this is the thing, you guys, everybody has a vision. You may not be clear on it yet, but it's in your heart. It's there. It's not like you have to create it. You almost have to like uncover it. You have to dig it out, and it becomes something really exciting to you. So what does it mean to have a vision? Like when I talk about having a vision, am I talking about like seeing things? Well, kind of, but not really. I mean, I'm not seeing things exactly as they're going to happen. But what I'm doing when I talk about my own vision is I want to know what the life that I am creating looks like. Okay? So every single day we are creating the life that we are living every single day. And if you don't believe that, totally fine. But guess what? You're still doing it. So I hate to call you out on that, but if you don't believe that you're creating the life that you're living, you're going to be disappointed with the life that you're creating, because you are always creating. You're creating by what you put your energy into. You're creating by what you focus on. You're creating by what you think about. And so that is where our vision really comes in, because if we know what we want our life to look at, we essentially create a map for ourselves. We say, this is where I'm going. I want to know where I'm going. When I get in a car to go on a trip, I don't just get in and start driving and have no idea where I'm going. Because guess what? I'm not going to know that I get there when I get there. I need to have a destination. And so that's what our vision becomes for us. It becomes the thing that we focus on. It becomes the thing that we take our lefts and our rights by, if that makes any sense to you. And so when I talk about a vision, what I really want for you is for you to spend time sitting with what you want your life to look like. And this isn't like what your life could look like if X, Y, and Z all lined up, or, like I would really like this, but I don't see how that could possibly happen. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is if everything was possible, if all things were on the table, what would your ideal life look like in 1 year? And 1 year is an arbitrary number. It could be 3 months. It could be 6 months. It could be 5 years. I find like 1 year is a nice feel to it, but I sometimes go even a little shorter for myself because I really like it to feel tangible to me, like something that is actually going to happen. And I have to lay aside a lot of times my question or tendencies that say, well, how are you going to do that? That's not what the vision is about. The vision is not about the how. The vision is about what it's going to look like. It's about why you want to get there. And that feels really good when we start to dig into that. So it's so important as we create the life we want to be really clear on what we want that life to look like. So here's some examples. Do you want to be going to an office to work every day? Do you want to be in a relationship? What do you want your space at home to look and feel like? What do you want your relationships to look and feel like? Where do you want your self-care to be in this period of time that you set for yourself? What would you like to be doing on a day-to-day basis? What would you like to be doing for fun or for travel? All of these things. What would you like your finances to look like? All of this goes into creating the vision for our life. And when we are clear on that, then the awesome thing is we start to focus on what we want instead of focusing on what we don't want. Because that's something that's easy to fall into. It's easy to look around at our life and say, well, I don't like that and I don't like that, and I want this to be different and this to be different. But if that's all we ever focus on, guess what, you guys? That is what we're putting our energy into. And what we put our energy into multiplies. So if you focus on what you don't want over and over and over again, guess what? That's what you're going to get over and over and over again. So when we're really clear on what we do want, then we start to focus on that. We start to put our energy on that. And guess what? We attract those things to us. All of a sudden, we see the path open up to the how to get there. Whereas when we're stuck over in this place of like not even knowing or only knowing what we don't want, all we see is what we don't want. It's hard to be creative when we're in a place of only this is what I don't want. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So when we get really clear on the vision, we start focusing on what we want instead of what we don't want. Another thing that happens when we get really clear on our vision is we begin to create clearer and better goals. So have you ever known someone who just sets like a random goal, like, I'm going to run a marathon, but they don't really have a reason for that. Like, why? Like, why do you want to run a marathon? What is that going to do for you? Who are you going to become when you run a marathon? And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with running a marathon. I've done them. I think it's a great goal as long as it's part of your vision, right? So when we're creating goals that are associated with our vision, that are associated with getting us closer to the life that we want to be living, then they're more exciting, right? They make sense to us. They're not just goals like that we set for ourselves like when we're 20 or something, like, oh, I want to make X amount of money. Well, why? Why do you want to do that? What do you want to do with that money? What do you want your life to look like? How do you want to use that money? How do you want to serve with that money? That's what vision is. And so when our goals become aligned with the vision, it's easier to go after them and to be excited about that and to really be motivated to go do that. So get clear on the vision, focusing on what you want, creating clearer and better goals. And then once those goals are created, you start to put energy into action that's going to get you closer to the vision, right? So it's all related. It's all about where we're putting our focus, where we're putting our energy, and where we're putting our actions. And if those are all centered around the vision that we know we want for our life is going to feel like it has more direction, like we know where we're going, and it's going to be exciting. And it's going to make us feel good. And we're going to be positive and like just looking forward to the next step and the next step and the next step, even if those steps are sometimes hard or sometimes scary. So I just really want you guys to like latch onto this idea that when you have a vision for your life, it's exciting. And a vision should just be so rich in details and just make you just like, oh, I can't wait until it's like that. Like that's the feeling that a vision will have for you. And remember when it comes to vision, don't keep your vision stuck in the box that you're in already. Like if you measure your vision to where you are now and you try to make it fit into the box that you are now, guess what? That's not really a vision. That's just more of what you have now. So really dream big, give yourself permission to dream big and to step into a new way of thinking about what is possible in your life. So some of you do this. Some of you have a vision for your life. And I know this because I know you that are listening, and it's okay. This is a thing. It's okay if you don't, but I want to talk right now to the people who do. You have a vision. You have a big vision. In fact, I would even call you a visionary. You want to change the world, even if it's just your little small part of the world. And you know that you were put on this earth for a reason. You feel that. You feel your heart calling out to you. So what's next? Sometimes when we have those big visions, when we have these big dreams and these big ideas, it can be a little overwhelming because we're like, okay, here's just little old me, and I have this really big idea. How do I make that happen? And so when we're at that point of knowing what the dream is, knowing what the vision is, and having like these doubts of like, well, who am I to say that I can do that? I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I don't have the right schooling or the right credentials. Who am I to change the world? Really, that doubt starts to creep in and starts to wear us down and make us think that our ideas are crazy, make us not want to share our ideas and our vision with other people. Have you guys felt this? Like you would say it to someone and they would be like, oh yeah, right. And then it hurts, right? Then you're like, well, am I wrong? Am I wrong to dream this? Am I wrong to have this vision? And what I want to say to you guys is no, you are a visionary. If you know that you have something that you were meant to do in this life, even if it's crazy and you have no idea how to do it, it is for you. That is for you. And you have to learn how to start to build that trust. How to build the trust in what your inner voice is asking of you. So how do you build that? You take a step and another step and another step and another step. You put it out into the world. You don't apologize for it. You find people who will stand in that believing with you. I call that partners in believing, right? You get a coach, or you get an accountability group, or you have a trusted friend who you can say the craziest thing to, and they're going to be like, I see it with you. I believe it with you. And these are the things that as visionaries, and I include myself in that, as people with big dreams, these are the things that we must do in order to bring that vision into reality. We have to trust it. It's not something that we just made up. It was there. I believe that the seeds of that vision are probably there in our hearts when we're born. I really believe that. I just want to encourage all of you, get clear on your vision. Get really, really clear. Sit with it. Ask your inner voice. Ask your heart what it wants you to do. Dig into how you're dissatisfied with your life. Don't just say, oh, my life sucks and be done with it. Say, my life sucks. How do I want it to be different? And start to focus on that. Start to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. And sometimes what you don't want will help you figure that out, right? And then once you have that vision, once it's clear for you, trust it. Take action on it. Share it. Find someone to help you do that. I'm sharing this with you guys tonight because this is what I do. This is what fires me up. This is what gets me so excited. I just want to scream. Seriously, I'm not going to scream, don't worry. But I want to, because it's exciting to me to see women stepping into their soul's true purpose, to see you guys trusting your inner voice and trusting what your heart is asking you to do and saying, I don't care how crazy it is. This is what I was meant for. Can you just imagine for a moment if every woman started to do that? How would this world change, you guys? Talk about changing the world. We are powerful. We are powerful women. And when we start to honor that little seed that was in us from the beginning, and what that is asking us to do, we will do great things. So to that point, I want to share with you an event that is coming up here in Syracuse on October 27th. I am holding a journaling and yoga retreat, a one-day retreat called Wake Up Worthy. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some physical work in the yoga practice, gentle yoga, no yoga experience required, to release emotions that we hold in our body, to release beliefs that we sometimes hold in our body, so that we can then, after that release, work through guided journaling together to get really clear on the vision and to get really clear on what might be holding us back from that vision and how we can move forward. And this is all going to be from within, you guys. It's all going to be through this movement and this guided journaling. It's going to be a journey that we take through the day together. So that's on Friday, October 27th in Syracuse, New York. And you know what? I know that not everyone that listens to this podcast is in the New York area, but if you are within a 2 hours drive, you should come. It's going to be amazing. It doesn't start till 10, so you don't have to leave your house that early. And it's going to be a really intimate event. There are only 14 tickets available. So if this really is calling out to you, if this message of living your vision is connecting with you, especially if you feel like you have that already, you're like, yes, now what? This is what you need. So I want to invite you to join me. And if this is something that's really calling out to you, you can check out the link at kellycovert.com/retreat. And I'll put that right in your podcast app. If you hit the little info button, you will see that right there and you can go to the link. And then there are those of you who say, I'm not close. I can't come. I'd love to come on that day, but I can't come. Well, what I would say to you is sign up for a discovery call with me. Let's sit down. Let's chat. We can bring our coffee. We can talk for 20 minutes about what your vision is and how I can support you in that. Because sometimes you need that extra support. We all do. So if you can't make it to the event on the 27th, I want you to sign up for a discovery call. And I will also put that link right in the little info. Like, go to your podcast app where you're listening from right now, and there's a little eye with a circle around it. If you click on that, the links are right there. So you can go right to my calendar and set up a time for a free discovery call with me if you're not able to come to the event. So either way, I really want you guys to know that living with vision will change your life. It will 100% change your life. I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. And why do we need to live with vision? Because what we were put here to do in this world matters. We can make a difference if we follow our heart. We absolutely can. And once we learn how to trust that, then watch out, world, because we are on our way. And why is this all possible for us? Because we are worthy.